Welcome to today's session on Microsoft Expression Web. This is one of the tools that is very much widely used for making web pages. As you know, when you are developing website using HTML, you will be facing a lot of problems because entire code needs to be written by you. And how do you test the code? In case you already know some programming, of course you will be able to easily understand, but let's assume that you do not know programming. Okay. So once you are studying the tags of HTML, what you do is you will be putting them in a notepad or a text file, and you can open that particular text file. In fact, you will be renaming it as a .html file or a .htm file, and then you will be opening it in the browser. So when you open in the browser, this code will leads to the rendering of the web page. So that is how you test how your code will look like to the customer when he loads your page on the browser. Suppose the page is not in order or the page is not as you are assuming, then what you have to do is again go back to the HTML code, that is again you open that particular HTML file, which is basically a text file, and again make some changes. So like that you have to select the HTML tags, again you have to or sometimes replace them, or you have to change some dimensions, or you have to think whether that particular tag is running on some browsers and not running on some browsers. You have to think from all these perspectives, and in fact you should note that it will take a long time in case you want to make a professional website just using HTML and other tools. I mean, I don't want to use the word tool, HTML and other languages, and starts writing the code by yourself. So what happened is, in the due course of time, these languages were replaced with the tools. These tools will enable you to very quickly develop professional looking websites. One of the tools is Microsoft Expression Web. You can use Microsoft Expression Web to develop websites. So today what we will be doing is we will be introducing this particular tool to you, and then I should also tell you that there are a lot of other tools which are very popular and being more widely used than Microsoft Expression Web, and definitely you can explore them also. In fact, you can mail me the names of those tools which are being currently used to design or develop websites. So today we will be just having an introduction about this Microsoft Expression Web. It is a fully featured HTML editor that helps us in developing web pages easily. When we are discussing about Microsoft Expression Web, we may find similar features in many other HTML editors or website development tools. However, Microsoft Expression Web, if installed on your computer, it is available as one of the software in the Microsoft Expression suite. However, this is discontinued by Microsoft some years back. So at present you will not be able to find this particular software in case you are just trying to locate it and download. Of course, you may get some links to it and you may try to download also, and it may get installed also, but it is not widely available. There are two ways to open the Microsoft Expression Web. So first of all, just have a look at the figure. Double click on the Microsoft Expression Web 2 icon on the desktop. Once you double click on it, the software will be opened. The other way is that go to the start button, select the programs, and then select the Microsoft Expression, and then select the Microsoft Expression Web 2. It's demonstrated, you can have a look at the image. So there is something called Microsoft Expression Web Workspace. Once we start the Expression Web, the Expression Web Workspace opens. And in fact, if you are focusing on the figure, you will be able to see all these things. And this particular Expression Web Workspace, it is having several components, and all those components are explained in the figure. This workspace is opened in the design view. That's why we can see a design window. Also, since the design has not yet begun, the design workspace is blank. However, once you start working and after you save it, then it will not be blank. It will have some content. But initially when you start, yes, the design workspace will be blank. Then there are several components of Expression Web Workspace. and some of them are title bar, menus and toolbars, editing window, status bar, task panes. Yes, most of these tools are available even other software. So, this is no different from the interface perspective, because all softwares are trying to have such an interface that you will get very well acquainted to enter into. So, if you have a look at the figure, you will find title bar. It displays the title of the current active page. It always appears at the top of the Expression Web window. The default file name for Expression Web is the file shown in the title bar, and it is normally untitled, and this is the case with any software. If you open a file and you just start working on it without giving any title, normally the title of such file is untitled. The title bar of Expression Web, it contains the information such as name of the program. So, the title which you want to give to the web page, that will become the name of the program. Then you will have a minimize button, then you have a restore down or maximize button, then you have a close button. This bar can also be used to move the window. So, if you look at the figure, you will also find menu bar. It is positioned below the title bar and it displays the list of menu items. The menu bar is used for selecting a set of commands during the design of a web page. The menu bar contains a drop down list of all commands which helps us to make an effective web page. By using the mouse, we can move across the menu bar and select commands by clicking on the appropriate command. We can also use arrow keys or shortcut keys of keyboard to access these commands. If we have a look at the figure now, we will find that the menu bar contains 9 options, and the first option is file option. It includes commands to open existing pages, save new pages, close the current pages, print the page, create new pages, open the sites, preview in the browser, and properties button. The most important thing is preview in browser. So, preview means that before taking the final decision about that particular code, you can just have a look in the browser, and in case you like it, then you can finalize it. This is what I said immediately when I started this particular discussion, that you have to run the code in the browser, and in case you are satisfied, then you can go ahead, otherwise you have to change it. So, now suppose you are using a tool instead of the code. Here we are using Microsoft Expression Web. Suppose that we are using some other tool, it does not matter. But anything you use, it is essential that you preview it in the browser, and if it is okay for you, only then you will be saving it and you will be moving ahead. And then the most important option in the file menu is properties option, as it not only gives the name, it also gives you the location where the file is stored, the storage it occupies, the history of editing, particularly when it was last edited, when it was created. All these things will be very much useful to create a version control of your file. Otherwise, what will happen is that you might be taking a old file and you may be thinking that it is the latest file, and you may be working on it further, and at the last moment you may find that the file which you started with is old file and there is a new file which is completely different, and working on it is not same as that you work on the old file. So, it is very good that it will be giving you the last modification time and date. It will really help you to control the versioning of the files. Then edit option, absolutely important, there is no further doubt on it. Without being able to edit the content, there is no use of using any tool. So, this particular option, it includes commands to copy, cut, paste, find, replace, and quick tag editor. Then we have view option, it includes commands for folders list, page, ruler, and grid. It is also used to design a web page for display on the screen. Then we have insert option, it shows the list of items that can be used to design a web page, such as HTML tags, ASP.NET controls, hyperlink, graphics, database, and other controls. Then we have format option, it includes commands to format fonts, dynamic web templates, borders, CSS styles or properties and other similar things. Then we have tools option. It allows the use of tools such as spell checker, macros, add-ins, browser compatibility and similar tools. Table option, it includes commands to insert tables, merge cells, borders and similar things. Then we have an interesting option called site option. It includes commands related to folders, remote website, reports, hyperlinks and similar things. Then we have a data view, and here this particular option includes commands to analyze and work with data view. Data view is going to be a very useful option, and often it will give you an insight into the times, the number of times the people are visiting the site, and in fact using this particular data view you can further update your website in a very interesting manner so that it is successfully visited by many people. So in one way the hit counter will increase, the number of hits will increase. Then we have a window option. It includes commands to display and arrange multiple windows. Then task pane, it is one of the options. It helps in adding or removing various task panes on the display. For example, there are many task panes open in the images shown earlier. Two of these are folder list and toolbox. If you agree, for example, whether it is your mobile or even if your PC or a laptop, when you are trying to browse the internet, you will be opening many windows and you will not close them, and at any point of time if you have a look at the screen, you will find that there are good number of windows open, such as 25, 30, 40, 50, and the impact of that is that the device becomes very slow because it's trying to load the pages dynamically, refresh the pages, all these things will be happening. So it will be always appropriate that once you complete browsing, or whether it be a mobile device or a laptop or a computer, you close the window so that not much processing power is wasted on those pages in which you are not interested or you will not be going there again. Then the ultimate option is help option. It helps us in developing web pages using the Microsoft Expression Web. Then we have a toolbar option. It is positioned below the menu bar, and toolbar contains buttons, drop down menus and other controls to help us create the web pages. Toolbar has the shortcuts to the menu items in the menu bar. The most commonly used toolbars are standard toolbar and formatting toolbar. Standard toolbar contains of many items which are normally found in any other toolbar. It is placed just below the menu bar. The toolbar performs the basic Windows based tasks such as opening a new file, saving a new file, cut and paste the text, print the pages and many other things. And if you have a look at the figure, you can also see the formatting toolbar. This particular option comprises of shortcuts to menu items. It is placed just below the standard toolbar. The formatting toolbar contains tools related to formatting of text in Expression Web. It includes changing style, font type, color, paragraph, alignments, borders and similar things. And formatting toolbar will always enable you to do the beautification tasks, and ultimately the website will look very professional and will be attracting many hits. Then we have the editing window. The editing window option, it is used to write the code or design the module of the web page. We can have more than one web page open at a time. Each web page contains designing window or coding window. The editing window has three views with whom we can work to design our website. The first view is code window. If we are good in HTML tags or scripting language, then we can use this window for our work. The second window or the second view of the editing window is design view. That is very easy to use for the beginners. Finally, the last view shown in the image is the combination of both the views. They are split view in which we can see our design with the HTML code. Different view tabs are placed at the bottom of the editing window. These tabs help us to display the view of editing window that we may want to work upon. View bar contains all the three views of workspace. They are design, split and code. The status bar displays messages and feedback. If the status bar is on, it will appear at the bottom of the screen. These are the indicators which appear on the status bar in the lower right of the screen. If you look at the image, it displays the window size of the website, CSS, which stands for cascading style sheets, and XHTML, which is extensible HTML, which is extensible hypertext markup language schema, view mode of the expression web, and the others. So if we look at the task panes, they contain all the features which are important to website design. They contain different important features related to design and their controls. The main elements of the task pane are toolbox, folder list, tag properties, behaviors. So these are different elements of the task pane, and the tag properties are that in fact the task pane enables us to see all the set attributes and values for the tag that is currently active in the web page. We can also modify the set of attributes and set new attributes for the tag. Behavior task pane is used to assign an action with an event. So how do we go about creating web pages using this Microsoft Expression Web? Until now what we have seen is that we have gone through different menu items and different components of the Microsoft Expression Web at the preliminary or introductory level. But for designing and developing the website, you have to prepare web pages and then link them systematically. You can use Expression Web to create a website. Consider that you need to create the index page of a website. Now just have a look at the image, and for example, if you consider that particular one as a sample web page, you can observe several elements on this web page such as image, background, hyperlinks, tables, etc. So etc. means there are a lot of other elements also which will be part of the web page, not essentially those which we just took the name. In addition, this page has a basic set of formatting, and in fact how to make this page is the challenge. This web page cannot be created in one step, rather we have to follow the complete process to make this page. And how we create and how we save the web page? To create the first page of the website, click on the file menu, then select the new option. In the new option, there are two options for creating the web pages. One is page and another is website. There is a lot of difference between a website and a web page. A website is a collection of web pages, and if you take just one fundamental portion of the website, that becomes a web page. So if you go to any website, it consists of a large number of web pages. The blank page is used to create a single page. It is also possible that you create a blank page if you just want to experience the web page without any information on it. If you want to add a page in an already existing website, then website option can be used for creating a complete web platform, and that is what we have to use here. Now if you just have a look at the figure, you can select the file option in it, and then you select the new option, and then you select the website option. A new dialog box gets invoked as shown in the figure, and then you select the website tab. In website tab, select one page website. Now we can enter a location of the web page in the option box beginning with let me say http :/, or we can store this one page website in a folder or the disk. For displaying it through the internet, you can have to choose a location with http :/. This is the location where you can see the preview of the website. If you choose to create your website on a folder on the disk, then after completing your website, you may transfer it into a web server of your choice for displaying it on the World Wide Web. For example, if we have to consider an example, in fact, we can have a default website, or we can have the website in the default folder C drive on the disk, because almost everybody will have this particular drive. There may be other drives also, but in case you don't have them, there is no harm in placing them in this particular folder itself. Finally, you have to click the OK button to ensure that whatever you have done will be confirmed and will be rendered. In case you need another page, again you can create it by selecting the new option and then the page option. And ultimately the $1,000,000 question arises, how to save my work, because after doing the entire work and suppose you will not be able to save your work, and again you have to write the code, and power of all these things do happen suddenly and you may lose your work. So it is always advisable that you save the work once in a while or occasionally while you are working with it. So how to save your work itself is something which you need to learn. You have to save all the pages within the folder created by the Microsoft Expression Web. These pages are saved on the hard drive as you are creating the website in your hard disk. If you decide to make the website on a web server directly, then the folders and the web page will be saved on the web server. By clicking on Save, Save As or Save All button, you can save your pages or websites on a hard disk in the specified folder or on the web server in the specified location. If you want to change the name of a page later, then you have to click on the Save As button and name them accordingly. Otherwise, save the page by clicking on the Save button from the File menu. If you want to save as a whole website with more than one web page, then you have to choose Save All option from the File menu. And when you publish your website from the disk on the internet, you have to copy the entire folder to a network drive. So now the issue arises how to open a web page. To open a web page again, which you have already created, you have to just select the File option from the menu bar, open the File dialog box, and it will get invoked because there is an option called Open, and so it automatically gets opened. It opens in the form of a dialog box. Then select the web page you want to open from the specific location and then click on the Open. Like this, you can also open a website from the Open Site option from the File menu. After selecting appropriate folder, you can open the website which you want to open. Otherwise, something else will get opened. So you need to be sure that whatever you want is only opened. And in fact, one important thing is how to create a background and how to format the text. Maybe you want to format the text in such a way that it becomes really attractive to be read by the people. Further, you need to select such a font which maybe they are not known to many of them, or it's quite interesting font and people are interested towards going through such pages which are made in that particular font. With Microsoft Expression Web, you can create any number of web pages and try different effects on the web pages by changing the font size, style, color and alignment of the text. You can also change the background color and insert hyperlinks to make your pages more attractive and interesting. Now have a look at the figure. In the figure, the background color is gray and main heading text size is large and bold with a black color and the text. For example, if you see the School of Computer and Information Sciences, that is the text which size is large and italic with red color. You can also create these contents in your web pages. And in case you are considering the background, in general, the background of a website is kept light to reduce load on eyes. Keep in mind, every time you design your website, first design its background as it has effect on text colors, font sizes, etc. Etc. means there are a lot of other things which I am not mentioning here. So the design of the background is having a lot of effect on several things including text colors, font size and other things. You can insert images, colors and font styles in the background. Make sure that if you insert an image in the background, it should not be very dark. But how to make changes in the background? Then there are several ways to do. First thing is you insert the background image. First select the design view at the bottom of the work window. Then click on the insert menu and select background, and in that you have to select that particular image which you want to have as background. The page properties dialog box gets invoked as shown in the image, and then click on the formatting tab. Select the background picture checkbox and then click on the browser. So locate the image file from the disk and click the image file that you want to set as background, and then again click open. If you want to add the picture as a watermark, which makes image semi-transparent, then select the make it a watermark checkbox, and changing the background color is also possible. You just have a look at the image. If you have already inserted an image as a background, then it is not advisable to set the background color also. And you can see in the image you have not inserted any background picture and the background color is gray, and in fact we have to perform some steps. So the first step is to select the design view at the bottom of the working window and then click on the insert menu and then select the background. So you are going from insert to background, and then again the page properties dialog box gets invoked as shown. Okay, so then we have to select the formatting tab, and then under colors we have to select the color which we want to use in the background. In this particular example, gray is the color that was used. So thank you very much for attending the today's session, and in case you have any doubts, please feel free to mail to pvsuresh@ignou.ac.in. Thanks a lot.